All right. Another Farlands or Bust stream for 2022. This time on January 19th, 2022. We're at 38,344.8 something megabytes in our Farlands expedition. Yeah, we're just gonna do a stream. We'll see how long we can go. Gosh, it's already 4. According to the Minecraft wiki, it stands for Ancient Domains of Mystery, an old but popular roguelike game made of ASCII characters. Nerds! Alright, nerds. Who's ready? Get your wolves ready. Oh, Wolf, right away. Alright, Wolfie's ready to go. Alright. Let us secure last stream's hidey hole. Grab Wolfie. And grab a boat. And head west. And head west in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. How is everybody doing? Yesterday, I made a pizza, but the girlfriend requested also a calzone, which I had never made before in my entire life, let alone a gluten-free calzone. So I sliced half of the pizza dough off to the side and made a calzone. And it turned out califragilistic. It was fantastic. I didn't know I had it in me. And who knew that calzone crust is literally pizza crust that you flop over itself with the stuffings inside, the toppings inside. Ooh. Enough of that calzone business. Look at this. It's like a castle. Got windows and everything. I must remember this place. And then instantly forget about it. I know that. I didn't know that. I only figured it out because I looked up gluten-free calzone recipes, and the Bob's Red Mill recipe for calzone crust was exactly the same as the recipe for pizza crust that I had been using. So I'm like, oh, alrighty then. I will tell you, I was slightly let down once again by parchment paper. Because it kind of got stuck to the parchment paper, despite my very generous dusting of rice flour. But aside from that, it was a calzone to be remembered. We also previously made Detroit-style pizza, which I didn't know was a thing until I met the girlfriend, who is from Detroit, which is... Ooh, that's probably lava! Let's not go that way. Detroit style is great if you like bread. It's less a crust and more a bread. Basically, it comes in a square or rectangular pan, but you let the pizza dough rise significantly in the pan. Like deep dish? No, because there's no like outer hull. There's no crust. The crust rise, like, you know how there's like the toppings with the Detroit style, then there's the crust underneath, which is risen like bread, like sheet pizza. I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's interesting because you also put the cheese first, which makes sense because if you put the sauce first, it would all just bleed into the very buoyant bread. So you put the cheese down first, then the toppings, and then the red sauce on top. This is going to be dangerous. And then you cut it into squares. Ah, which is fine. I'm familiar with square pizzas. There's a lot of places in Chicago. Like Chicago thin crust often will be cut into squares. Like it was a normal, it was called Nancy's Pizza. A normal round pizza, but they cut squares into it. And there were other places that did that. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. She very specifically, you had to put some cheese, like, on the outside of the crust, like, on the pan, so that it would burn. Like, that's part of it. That's part of the deal. It's fine. It's just too bready for me. As someone who does enjoy a Chicago deep dish, I prefer the prominence of the toppings over the bread. Which that's not something I've tried to make, is deep dish pizza. Like Chicago-style, gluten-free deep dish. I'll have to look at what the deal is. That is lava. You saw that flame and fire and burning. That's a bamboozle. It's like, oh, it's water. Ah, I see. One of these natural cobblestone generators. So yeah, that was yesterday, and then I made a normal, well, a half-sized pizza with the other remnants of the crust. I kind of want to do it again tonight. The girlfriend is going to be out most of the night. I'm like, I don't know what else to have for dinner just by myself. I'll just make another pizza. I'll just make another calzone. The thing about the Chicago deep dish style is like, I feel like it's a different sauce. It's more chunky. It's got like whole tomatoes in it. And also the very fennelly Italian sausage. Not sausage balls, but like sausage flats. Smooshed sausage is like a very specific thing. I don't know. So anyway. That was that. Then again, I'm also thinking of making cookies again. I got a hankering. Hankering! In the heat. What am I doing on coal? Fine on coal. What's new? What's new with everybody? What's going on? What is going on? This is some very strange and unusual and interesting landscapes. Like, what's this? We're like in a basin. Thomas got a promotion. So they're taking us all out to dinner. Pizza, I hope. We're all starting out the next semester of school. There's got to be a point where everybody's not in school anymore, right? My first 2 weeks. That's true. That's the other thing. Yeah, first 2 weeks were remote. The girlfriend had like 2 days of in class, and then they decided to go remote for 2 weeks. And then this week she's back. Normal. Whoa! Hello. Whoa! You've inspired me to order Detroit-style gluten-free pizza here in Nashville. Interesting. I mean, the first, like, we didn't even consider it until we went to Las Vegas, and we got pizza from Evil Knievel's Pies. Pizza Pies, just because they were one of the only ones that had a gluten-free pizza. But their gluten-free pizza was Detroit-style. I guess he's from Detroit. And, like, the girlfriend was like, I didn't think this would work as gluten-free. But it do. Yoink. $70 calzones. Hold on now. I don't think you're overestimating the amount of viewers I normally get. Pro tip, JB Weld doesn't stop a small radiator leak. I could have told you that. I have express first-hand knowledge of that. With the Subaru SVX that I had, that I didn't tell anybody about. Yeah, no, it had a crack. Tried to fill it. Didn't work. The girlfriend had to track down a brand new radiator. Nah, it says it works, but it doesn't. I don't think there's any scenario where it could possibly work. Like, it might work for like a day, which it did, and they were like, I fixed it, and then never again. Uh-oh, Wolfie? Did you come with me? There you are. Mine was on a fin. Oh, well, I could very much tell you that. Yeah, JB Weld isn't going to work on a aluminum. I read that as girlfriend instead of gluten-free. We've really messed up the narrative here. Girlfriend replacements are okay once in a while, but not every girlfriend version of gluten food translates well. That's what I've found. Cone here for the ooh-ooh. I didn't know it was a furry thing, Cone. Help. I need to delete my Twitch now, because I was just making a joke. Interesting. I didn't even start gaming. I just went live and people started making furry references. What does MBD mean? No big deal. That's what I'm like. Just walking to the farlands. No big deal. AMA. Ooh, I was just looking for 3-letter acronyms to make a humorous, catchy title on my Twitch stream to attract new prospective subscribers. Fidgety boy, thank you for 3 months in the subtub. Much appreciated. Subtub. Nice bucket, dude. Ah! A nice bean dessert. Okay. He died. Alright, well, that's the end of chat for the rest of this, I guess. I guess we're stuck with everybody just coming up for acronyms for NBD. This is what the YouTube people miss. At least you didn't misplace some big legs. Oh, that's right. You got very instantaneously corrected on the latest episode of Ranwin Parks. Sponsor. Sponsor. You paint power stood between the big legs. Okay. If that's what you want to do. That's how you want to spend your Tuesday. God. It's fine. Very interesting. You didn't get to stand next to a larger than normal, but not necessarily giant ear of corn. That is hard to top. The world's largest firecracker, M80, although I think it said it was like an M8000 or something. Bloop. Oh, this just in. The girlfriend, I learned, didn't realize that we went to the moon more than once. Which I'm sure is not, like, a unique mistake on her part. I'm sure a lot of people don't think that. Because all the information and hullabaloo is about Apollo 11. So we've got some documentaries to watch. I myself have never been to the moon even once. I don't need these pigs. How many times have robots been to the moon? Probably, I think less than humans, to be honest with you. I mean, we sent the surveyor probes up there, but I think that was only like 2 of them, right? And now, like, Chinese have a rover up there. I don't know that did the Russians ever actually like soft land on the moon? I think all their things just hit. Fun times there. Woof. Did the game play this bad back then? Yeah, I don't think it would have been the success if it played like this. No, this is just because I'm far away from 0-0. It's just the game is less and less precise about where I am on the map. The bigger the number be. The bigger the number be. I'm finding that I'm walking right a lot. Even though I'm supposed to kind of be walking left. And I don't realize it until it's too late. It's because I'm way off. In the northern direction. Way overcompensated. Woof. Oh, excuse me. Ah. Don't you just walk? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. How are the cats in Juneau? Doing fine. Juneau's Juneau. The cats are the cats. Not much new to report there. Out for a walk earlier, ran up some stairs. We get our exercise in, me and Juno. What am I trying to do? Boats. And beds. Probably make beds too. Oh, buddy. Zombies. Excuse me, jeez. Blip, blip. The streaming. It's the lights. Red block was clay. Ow! It's not the default texture. We are running a mildly modified texture pack to get, like, the background on this and the glasses on Wolfie. In case you haven't noticed, Wolfie's wearing glasses. Ooh. Blob on the bed. Sorry, that just is a funny question. Any thoughts on the Tonga volcano? I think that it shouldn't have erupted. I think that was a bad choice. uh, oh. No! Too many sticks. Oh! Speedrun. Clearly it was not a decision that was well thought out. I mean, interesting. I mean, not for the people directly affected. I mean, it was weird because we were actually going to, like, head out to the beach that day. Or that morning, that Saturday morning or something like that. Just because we're bored as hell and wanted to go somewhere and do something. But then all of the beaches were closed on account of the tsunami. Ugh. So, I mean, that's how it affected my life, which is all that matters. It's the American way. Woohoo! That's the other thing I was reading, that like they're kind of, like, aside from being mostly like cut off from a lot of things, is that like they're kind of refusing direct assistance because Tonga, the islands of Tonga are like COVID free, so they don't want teams of people going there to help out and also bring COVID. That's kind of like an interesting problem, I suppose. Whoa. In New Zealand, you got tsunami warnings. Yeah, I mean, there was like video from Oregon of like a large, not large, but like a larger than normal surge from the tsunami. Some flooding in California. I don't know if there were anything from the Washington coast, but like I said, all the beaches were closed. I don't know if there was anybody. Like in that case, like I also like, in that case, do they sound the tsunami sirens along the coast? I wouldn't think so, because I think the concern is just more about like riptides and like some coastal flooding. They kind of understand the size of the thing reaching the American coastline. I don't know. Which is clearly why I'm not in charge of such the operations. Or forming sentences. Where's my compass? Am I going the right way? I only snore during the official Farlands or Bust episodes. This is a stream. It's a much more casual affair. Business casual. That's a neat wall. That's a neat thing right there. Oh god, careful, Wolfie. He's not. Oh, you dingus, don't go higher! Oh my god, he's such a noodle. No, no. There you go, jeez. Oh. Oh, was that connected? It most certainly is. And that, see? Plate tectonics. That piece was once in here. That's how that's how a geologist do. And it got moved out there due to the tectonics of plates. That's a petrified tree right there. Erosion. How many swords have you broken? 6. Teen? I have no idea. We didn't break our first one because it was the golden sword, or no, I'm sorry, the diamond sword of spawn pointiness. I undersold it. That one's resting nicely in an F3 monument for the rest of time. Well, Minecraft tectonics already exists. It's called updating your game when there's a terrain change, and then walking outside of the terrain that you've already generated. Like that's already like, oh, here's a fault line. The chunk line. Chozo still remembers the story you told about the White House website. That's a classic. I should have saved that one. I used all my best stories in the first 2 seasons of Flob. Now I got nothing. I'm burnt out. Flob and NFT now. It could have been if I didn't hate everything to do with that stuff. Like there was a time somebody at the top of the pyramid must have like contacted all like the famous meme people and had them like sell their memes as NFTs. Because that was like a little bit ago that was happening. They prefer memians, not memeries. Do you play Wordle? Nope, I block it. I blocked it from my Twitter. It was annoying, and I don't like it. I'm waiting for when it comes out that oops whoops. They've actually been tagging and amassing your personal information and have now conglomerated it into a huge database that they will sell to the conservative party political action groups. Like, I don't know. I guess I like, obviously I don't know that that's going to happen, but it's like all those quizzes that were like, what kind of celebrity are you? What 2 celebrity parents do you have? Fill out this quiz and find out. Whoops, we also now have access to everything in your Facebook profile. All of your messages, photos. It doesn't ask for any personal information and runs entirely locally in the browser. How does it post to your Twitter? Oh, you copy and paste? Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know that Wordle is the thing, but listen, calm down. Everything I say does not need to be taken as etched in stone. It has a share button. Yeah, I mean, any website that has a Facebook share button, even if you don't have Facebook, Facebook puts a cookie on your browser and tracks you and assigns you a profile. Anyway, anything that ends up being like that, I'm usually against. I block so many things on Twitter, or like mute the words or whatever. Like Eurovision, anytime that just ruins my Twitter. Anytime that weird European singing reality show happens. Or like any sort of soccer tournament. A cup of some kind. The whole blue dress, gold dress, the whatever the I don't even know what what was it? It was like Yanny or Poppy or I don't know. It was the same thing but different. Yeah, that I don't even Yanny Laurel. I don't even know what the hell. I don't want to know. I don't care. I just muted it because I was sick of seeing it. Also, fun thing to do is block every sponsored tweet. Because then you block that account. But then you start getting some really weird sponsored tweets. Because they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel then. I do TweetDeck, but then I also mobile Twitter. I think Instagram is funny. Because if you ever go on there, like, under the search thing or the suggested posts or whatever, like, if you see something weird, you can, like, click on it and say not interested. But I'm pretty sure clicking on the image says to Instagram, you're interested in this thing. And that is worth more than then clicking not interested. Like, I think there's a... There's a paradox there. Yeah. Is there any other way you can use Instagram? Oh, you just want to see who you're following. Yeah, because you can't post to Instagram from anywhere but mobile, I think. I don't know. I've never tried. I've stopped trying. I don't think it's possible. It has a web app, but it's bad. Yeah, I mean, that is another one that I'm like... I should probably get rid of this. Like, I don't like it. I don't use it. But, like... It's like the last thread I have to some, like, local car stuff. And, like, people I've met at, like, Cars and Coffees. Like, the girlfriend is like, you should just create a fake Facebook profile so you could, like, actually get involved with these, like, car clubs and stuff around the area because they only exist on Facebook. I'm like, no, I will not have any of that. I'd rather have no social life or any happiness at all. I'm not in control of niblets and peepers. Yeah, I mean that's the girlfriend still has Facebook and she's does a lot of Instagram and scrolling, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm also not one to be like, you shouldn't do that. I'm not a finger wagger. I only post on pickleboy.com. I try to be like, that's not, they're just showing you what they want you to see. And like, but I know, so it doesn't affect me. And I'm like, I think that's them doing what they do best. It seems like the people who say, oh, it doesn't affect me, or, oh, I'm immune to that, are the people who are the most ripe for those algorithms and social manipulation. Ripe, I say. Like a soft avocado. The joy of missing out. I mean, hell, the same goes for Twitter. I don't use that. I have stopped entirely tweeting that I'm live. Perhaps that is hurting my Twitch. I don't know. I just found it to be incredibly redundant and repetitive. Fear of mandatory inclusion. Somebody actually used that to see when somebody's live. Well, being how reliable Twitch is at letting know people are live, I could see it being a thing. Celebrities ruin Twitter? No, corporations ruin Twitter. And Twitter ruined Twitter. It was, I mean, it was novelty. In hindsight, kind of weird and creepy. But it was kind of novelty to be like, oh, here's a celebrity on Twitter. I am following them, and this is an access into their life. Like for me, it was like, oh, astronauts. Like the first astronauts were joining Twitter and tweeting from space and stuff like that. In hindsight, it's like, maybe that's not a thing we need. Maybe I don't need to see what Steve Carell is up to. Yeah. Well, yeah, I joined Twitter when I still had a flip phone. That was very annoying, going to the NASA tweet ups and like trying to see what was going on with a flip phone. Just be like, text me anytime somebody tweets the hashtag so I know what's up. Not Steve Carell. Steve Carell's media agent. And like a few weeks ago, like John Cena started following everybody for some reason. What's up with that? Why? John Cena's media agent started following everybody. Oh, TV show. Yeah, I guess he did have his new TV show coming out. Starting the hype, the trending, to get trending. Cone. Somebody's trying to get me to play F1. Make them stop. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult for me to say anything, being as that's kind of the reason I'm here. But I need to say something. I must fill this empty void that is my microphone. You must fill this empty void. Ooh. So I did see somebody ask earlier. I saw Into the Future. Somebody asked about Microsoft buying Activision. Yeah, that's all, but that's bad. That's just bad. That's pretty bad. I mean, Microsoft bought the Hellblade developers. This was a while ago. Like, that seems less bad, being like, oh, it's an indie developer and blah, blah, blah. But then they, like, made them... I'm assuming they made them make, like, a Overwatch clone game that lasted, like, 3 months. Which I'm sure was development time and energy that could have gone towards the next Hellblade game. When is it anti-competitive? When they run out of money to pay for the Congress people and the judges who will decide if it's just business as usual. What Overwatch thing? Ninja Theory may... I don't even know the name of it. It's obviously not my genre of game. But they came out with some arena shooter game or whatever Overwatch is called. Yeah, some... That sounds right. It sounds like you just came up with 3 random words. Heroes, Phoenix Rising. But that could and might probably be exactly what you're talking about. The actual name of the game. Super shooty jump. Seashell. Bleeding Edge. See, it was wrong, and I believed it. I think it was Bleeding Edge. Yes. Antitrust doesn't apply to the gaming industry? Why? All the money is funneling up to the same pyramid. That's kind of the definition of it. Oh, was it? Yeah, I didn't know the history of it. I just thought it was a very weird pivot to like suddenly announce, but then like on the same day release this Overwatch clone. I mean, who owns Kerbal Space Program now? Or KSP2? Because it was being indie developed. And then the publisher shut down the indie developer and poached all of their talent. So now it's under them. Did Microsoft buy them too? I don't know. A group of developers can always split off and make their own game and then compete against the trillion-dollar mega corporation with endless buying power and funds and technology. And they are the holders of the key to that technology because they also make the console and the PCs and the operating system. And then, as in terms of KSP2, their developers get poached and they can't finish their game anyway. I mean, I do think that supporting and focusing on and looking to the indie sphere, looking to the itch.io systems, it's kind of your best bet for finding like true interesting creativity, even if it is the lower budget, not your Raymond Traces whip bang huge massive multiplayer situations, unless we're talking of course about Skate or Don't, which is both massively multiplayer and Raymond's Traces. I'm sure somebody on there has played whose name is Raymond. Yeah, I mean, I guess how far are you okay with it? Microsoft buys Epic and or either buys it away from or buys Tencent or whatever the heck they're called, who owns Epic. Microsoft buys Sony. Microsoft buys Nintendo. Is that the shoe that would need to drop? I don't think Nintendo is worth like super a lot of money, are they? I don't know who owns Nintendo, if anybody does, or what the whole shebang with that is, but anyway, Nintendo owns Nintendo? Okay, so they could... They're ripe! They're ripe for the plucking! Yeah, these are all hypotheticals. I don't need to see spreadsheets and earnings reports and stakeholder manifestos. I'm just saying. I'm just saying words. I'm just filling the void. Oh, here's a question for you nerds. Is it possible to find out all the parameters of a triangle if you only have one side and one angle? This was part of the girlfriend's homework. And both me and her were very confused. It's not a right triangle. And they're not all equal sides. Yeah, that's the thing. We were like trying to look it up, and it's all about, well, yes, if it's a right triangle, if it's a obtuse triangle, then two of the sides are the same. No. One side and one angle, not enough. Okay, see, that's what. So you had a question where that was all the information she had. So I was arguing, and I'm like, I think the answer to this is simply an unfinished equation. But she thinks that the teacher wants, like, full answers. All of your triangles are cute. Billions of triangles! Billions! Yeah. That's what I thought. I mean, she came home with this and was very frustrated. She even went to, like, a tutor to try to figure it out. And I think like, these classes, you know, they assume the majority of students, not all, but the majority of students are, like, fresh out of high school or whatever, so, like, they've had these classes recently. I never took trigonometry. I never took calculus. I, like, stopped at algebra, whatever was the least required, and I bailed very quickly on that. Trigonometry is Garbo. He's my favorite Marx brother. Oh, dang it. It's a sign of the times. We found the nerd. We found the true nerd, everybody. Let's make our house here. Whoops. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. That's all. Speaking of triangles, look at this triangle. Look at this triangle. Wolfie, you dang isosceles, get over here. Oops. Huh. Astronomy was a substitute for math? Where did you go, and why didn't I go there? I mean, honestly, I didn't have to take math beyond my community college. Because, like, the whole degree transferred. Huh. I don't know why I didn't look into that. Probably wasn't an option. Back in my day. You know what else was back in my day? The end of this farlands stream. Thank you for tuning in. Farlandsorbust.com is where things happen. We're still raising money for charity, despite what you may have been told. And yeah. Now this time I'm going to snore for realsies, because that's what we do here. Okay? Okay. That was a good one. Upside down. 38,423.6.